Top 10 Underrated Horror Films. I'm Chris.
I'm William.
We're here to talk about films that are either looked down upon or are not considered that great, or they're just not for mainstream horror movie fans. Like the person, who went to go see Devils Inside Me obviously didn't watch, Serbian Film or Black Devil Doll. Mostly because they don't know about them, and if they knew what they're about, they probably wouldn't watch them anyway. So we made a list of the 10 best underrated horror films that we could think of. Number 10,
Antichrist.
Antichrist is a movie about these two people, and while they are making love, their child's son falls out the window and dies. So they go to this house in the middle of the woods, and it turns out it's a Garden of Eden, and the rest of the movie is pretty much them just like having sex, and then dude gets a bolt through his leg. This woman gets her vagina lips cut off with scissors, and she masturbates him so hard blood squirts out. It's really pretty stupid, but not many people have watched it. So number 9 is Chillerama. And Chillerama just came out a while back, and it's an anthology film like Creepshow or Tales from the Hood. And this one instead has 3 stories, and then a story which is the main story, but it's still part of the story. The first story is Wadzilla, which is about a giant sperm rampaging through New York, and it has to have sex with the Statue of Liberty. Number 2 was I Was a Teenage Werebear, and it was about a gay boy who turns into a teenage werebear. It's pretty stupid, but anyway. Number 3 was Diary of Anne Frankenstein, which was probably the best of all of them, because Kane Hodder actually plays Adolf Hitler's Frankenstein monster, and it's kind of funny because he kills off Adolf Hitler, rips off Adolf Hitler's arm and beats his head off with it, and then you get to see Kane Hodder doing a Jewish dance, so that's kind of funny. Number 8
is Bad Biology.
Bad Biology was filmed by Frank Henlotter, which also made Basket Case and Frankenhooker. Bad Biology is about 2 people, it starts out with. The first woman, she is something, she has this weird disease, where even when she was little, she couldn't pleasure herself, and she had her period when she was only 4. It's kind of fucked up. And then this guy, he has a really big schlong, and he can't control it anymore, so towards the end of the movie, it jumps off his body and starts banging through walls and shit, and then goes and have sex with different women. And then by the end of the movie, it's all wrinkled up and shit, and she has to give it penis injections to make it better. So when it gets better, it has sex with her, and then they both die, and then a penis baby comes out of her. Yeah, penis baby. And number
7 is Evil Bong.
Evil Bong is done by Full Moon Productions, who also did Puppet Master and Doll Man, which were really good films. It's about these 4 roommates who order a bong, and it turns out to be evil, and their souls get sucked inside of it, and it's actually a strip club inside the bong. And the best part of the whole film is the strip club, because it's a strip club, and there's pretty fucking hot strippers in that. But other than that, the movie's kind of funny, it has Chong from, the old Cheech and Chong movies, and smoking weed and drinking and, everything you want from a movie. Number 6 is
Cradle Will Fall.
Cradle Will Fall is about a mother who goes insane and starts killing her children. And this movie was almost banned because of the gruesome way which she killed her children. But the thing is, it's also based on a true story. Like, what she did was almost true. Like, there's an actual mother who did all this to her children. But, like, some of it was also false. I mean, they never do a pure actual story. But, you know, what are you going to do? Like, she stabs one with, like, a mirror, and with a pitchfork, stabs another. So then there's one left, and a bunch of shit happens. But she survives, and she goes to the nut house and shit. And the ending's kind of messed up. But, anyway.
Number 5 is Frankenhooker.
Yeah, Frankenhooker is done by Frank Henlotter, of course, I already mentioned it. And he, did Bath Case, a bunch of other shit we mentioned. And it's about this guy who builds a lawnmower, and he kills his girlfriend. Then he takes the dead body parts of hookers, and he mixes them together and makes Frankenhooker. And that's about it.
Number 4 is Puppet Monster Massacre.
Puppet Monster Massacre, technically, it's not really a horror movie, it's more of a comedy. But it's kind of horror. I mean, there's a lot of fucking blood and gore in it. But the thing is, it's actually done with puppets. So, like, it's not really horror. But it's decent. Like, the grandpa's funny, and Dr. Wagner was kind of funny, and the penguin. Like, it's really hard to explain, and it'd take a while. Just see the movie. I can't ruin how good it is.
Number 3 is The Girl Next Door.
Girl Next Door is based on a true story, and it's about this girl whose parents die in a car crash, so her and her sister, who has polio, go to live with their aunt. Well, the girl ends up, like, abusing her and shit, and her sister, and the cousins, they get really, like, perverted, so they hang her up in the fucking, like, garage, like, down in the basement. They do really perverted shit to her, and, the ending's pretty sad. You know, I don't want to go into details of that, because it's one of those hardcore movies that, you know, if you can't stand watching, you know, hardcore movies, then, you know, what are you going to do? Number 2
is Serbian Film.
Oh, god damn it. Serbian Film. It is extremely hard to explain this one without going into the details, because the details would probably make you throw up. But Serbian Film is about a retired porn star who has to do one last porno because it'll make him a lot of money for the rest of his life. So obviously, you know, he takes the offer. Well, it turns out that he has to do a lot of shit he didn't want to do. Like, he has to beat on a woman, and then he has to have sex with her and cut off her head while he's having sex, which he does. And then the ending is pretty explicit, and I really don't want to talk about it, because if I do, it's pretty hardcore. I mean, I'm not going to talk about the ending. If you really want to know why it's so hardcore, just fucking watch it. It's called Serbian Film. Type that in, watch the trailer. You'll know why. Number 1
is
Black Devil Doll. Black Devil Doll is probably one of the most underrated horror films of all time, just because it was made by
an all-white jury.
No, it was rated by an all-white jury.
Rated.
Yep. It was made by RottenCotton.com. Oh, yeah, we are big supporters of good old RottenCotton.com. So, you know, in watching our movie, that also helped us out, too, to understand them. And I have to say, it was extremely interesting for the fact that it was the first movie I've seen that was actually rated X that wasn't porn. Because rated X means porn, but Black Devil Doll wasn't really porn. And, it's funny and entertaining, I guess. But to give you, you know, alright, here, let me sum it up in a few words. Imagine a black Chucky on cocaine and Viagra. That's about it. That's how much I can explain. So if I go into details, it's pretty some hardcore shit. like the most we mentioned were pretty hardcore, like Serbian Film, Black Devil Doll. I'd like to go into more hardcore details, but it's pretty fucking bad. Like, it's pretty fucking badass and hardcore for most people. So if you really want to watch these films, just look them up. Well, this has been Leaking Child Productions Top 10 Underrated Films. We'll see you next time.
See you driving round town with the girl I love, and I'm like, fuck you. I guess the change in my pocket wasn't enough. I'm like, fuck you, and fuck her too. Said if I was richer,